Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up, more financial experts join calls for government to accept lengthy repayment plan of debt owed China to help the country access the $600 million IMF second tranche funding on time. Also, China throws up fresh concerns on proposed repayment plans of Ghana's debt. Plus, new report by IC Research forecasts Ghana could end the year with inflation of 27.3% plus or minus 1%. Detail. Hello to our friends listening on KTU Radio in Koforidua. Now, inflation could close the year at a rate of 27.3% plus or minus 1%. That's forecast by research firm IC Research. It adds that headline inflation would outperform the government's upper target of 31.4% and the central target of 29.4%. Here's more.
Inflation will continue its downturn with a non-linear trend. According to IC Research, the pace of disinflation in the second half of 2023 has been helped by favorable base effects, moderation in food price pressures, diminishing impact of earlier tax hikes, and post-January 2023 slowdown in the cedi's depreciation. It also attributed the disinflation trend to the appropriately tight monetary policy stance, which includes the elimination of the central bank's financing of the Treasury budget deficit. In 2024, it expects the declining momentum of inflation to continue with the prevailing tight monetary stance and the ongoing International Monetary Fund program as key policy anchors. However, it expects an upside detour in March 2024, mainly due to an unfavorable base drift effect, given the unexpected decline in the consumer price index level in March 2023.
And that was a business desk report. The IC Research's forecast, inflation forecast. Meanwhile, the Ghana Statistical Service would announce the November 2023 inflation later today. Now, China has raised concerns about the proposed terms on restructuring of loans granted Ghana. This could impact the time that Ghana is expected to secure the second tranche of IMF's cash disbursement. George Afe has more.
This is one of several issues that has come up during the latest round of meetings at the official creditors committee level, co-chaired by France and China. Based on the engagement that Joy Business has had with persons with knowledge of these meetings, China is making a strong case for the proposed cuts on interest to be paid on these debts to be shared fairly. This is to ensure that the proposed debt treatment terms is the same for all the European countries that Ghana is indebted, as well as the multilateral institutions. There are also concerns about how the debt sustainability analysis was carried out, which formed the basis for the bilateral debt treatment. China has also argued that based on Ghana's improved economic position, some fresh debt sustainability analysis should be carried out. Joy Business understands that China is even carrying out its own debt sustainability analysis, which may influence any fresh proposals that could be tabled soon. All these developments earlier forced the IMF to reschedule Ghana's board meeting to some few days before the end of this year. But based on these fresh developments, could Ghana miss out on getting the second tranche of IMF cash before the end of this year? Well, time will tell. But things are now looking very difficult.
George Afe with that report. Still on debt restructuring with China, finance professor at the Andrews University in the US, Williams Prepara, has advised government to negotiate a lengthy repayment deal with Chinese authorities on external debt. According to him, China is not known to cut interest payments on debts as it moves to influence its geopolitical presence across the world. Professor Prepara says time may run out for government if it does not opt for a lengthy debt repayment structure.
The government should rather possibly negotiate for lengthening the repayment period, the maturity periods. But it's not certain that the Chinese are going to give us a haircut of the expected 20 to 40% that the finance minister mentioned. Because as I've mentioned, they are not interested in that because they fear that when they do that, it's really going to bring in a lot of countries asking for similar treatment.
You had Associate Professor of Finance at the Andrews University in the US, Williams Prepara there. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, is asking commercial banks to be heavy on investments for cybersecurity to support the operations. He points out that cybersecurity issues have been a threat to the financial sector in recent times. He was speaking at the launch of GCB Bank PLC's Recoded mobile app.
Cyber risks, including cyber attacks and data breaches, are prevalent And customers who use such digitized products are also increasingly wary of fraudsters and scammers. To this end, banks must improve on their cybersecurity infrastructure to enhance resilience against such cyber attacks. Most importantly, financial education and awareness is crucial in protecting banks and customers from cyber attacks.
And that was Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, speaking at the launch of GTB's recoded mobile app. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority says it is intensifying moves to ensure all taxpayers comply with the value-added tax law as the year comes to a close. Chief Revenue Officer John Yao-Boabing, who led an enforcement team of Accra South GRA to arrest some shop owners in Accra, issued a caution that defaulting taxpayers doing business during the peak season will be dealt with accordingly.
The special enforcement exercise was carried out at the Accra South area, where popular merchandise and wholesale shop Ofori Mati Enterprises was closed down and owner arrested for selective issuance of value-added tax invoice. K-Kran, dealers in iron rods on the Spintex Road were also picked up by the team for not registering for the VAT invoice. Head of the Accra South Area Enforcement and Compliance Team, John Yao-Boabing, has been speaking to journalists after the exercise.
They don't issue the VAT invoice. They do highly selective issuance of tax invoice. Even then, it's a problem. So revenue is highly at risk.
Yao-Boabing warned businesses to ensure full compliance or face the wrath of the GRA during the festive season.
This is only just one area. There are other areas which the officers would also intensify the activities, because during this season we know there are a lot of violations. So it is a kind advice to all taxpayers who have registered that they should issue the tax invoice, because we realize revenue is highly leaking.
The Criminal Investigation Department is expected to process the defaulting companies to court as soon as possible.
The Ghana Tourism Authority and the Ghana Heritage Committee have launched the implementation plan of the multi-stakeholder heritage strategic framework, which is aimed at protecting and preserving Ghana's heritage resources. According to the chairman of the committee, Professor Kojo Gavwa, the country has not effectively harnessed its cultural heritage, which could contribute to the development of various sectors of the economy.
The framework is not just for the consumption of ministries, departments, and agencies. It's for Ghana at large, because we realize that we have not been harnessing aspects of our culture and heritage, which must be the basis for development planning and action. This is what will give us an identity as a people and also ensure that we protect our sovereignty as a nation.
Chairman of the Technical Committee of the Ghana Heritage Committee, Professor Kojo Gavwa. Now, as part of its corporate social responsibility, Serene Insurance has reiterated its commitment to ensuring sound mental health of patients of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. According to its Chief Executive, Nakoshi Bwampong, ensuring a sound mental well-being is crucial for business continuity. She spoke at a carol service organized by the firm, where assorted items were donated to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
Our company, Serene Insurance Limited, has always believed in the power of giving back to our communities. Today, we have come together not only to celebrate the season of joy and love, but also to fulfill our social responsibility towards our immediate community. As we stand within the walls of the psychiatric hospital, we acknowledge the importance of providing support and care to those in need. Mental health is crucial to our overall well-being.
The facelift of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and items donated were to the tune of 200,000 cedis. Now, on Investor Eye today, you can always be curious and skeptical and ask more questions when you're offered investment products that appear suspicious. More importantly, always check from the website of a financial regulator such as the Securities and Exchange Commission or the Bank of Ghana when you're offered high returns on investments. Let's listen to Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Ogbami-Tete.
Is whether you appreciate the risk return characteristics of the product. Because risk, I like to say, is the ever-present guest when it comes to investing. And there's always a trade-off. The principle is that the higher the return,